Hey everyone, welcome back to Robbie the Painter. I'm Robbie, which is probably going to be my final episode. For this painting. I got you, didn't I? Okay. We're returning. This is part 4 of this Misty Waterfall. We're going to try to keep it short and simple today, but before we get started, I want to send out a big thank you to a few people who've been so supportive. You guys have been supportive, but in particular, my family, my mom, my brother, my sister, my 2 beautiful daughters, and my wife. Even though she doesn't know what I'm doing, I wanted to tell you a quick funny story. So I put my painting channel up on the TV on YouTube, and she's sitting there watching, and she looks over and she looks back and she looks at me and she says, "You're on TV." And I said, "Yeah, got my own TV show now." That's right. Anyway, it's cute. She likes the episodes, plus I make her watch them, so she doesn't really have a choice. But all that aside, thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. It's starting to grow. It's, still small, but it's starting to grow. So today's episode, we're going to finish up this Misty Waterfall. And here's my paint palette. And you're probably saying, "Rob, I only see one color on there." You do. It's Prussian blue. We're going to use Prussian blue and liquid white. And I think that's about all we need to finish this up. Now, if you were with me on the last episode, number 3, part 3, we were talking about I had to let this dry, all the oil paint, and it's been a few days, and I believe it's dry. It is. There's nothing on my fingers. I thought we would experiment with this rock wall and try to do a little glazing. So I have some linseed oil, I've got liquid white, and I've got Prussian blue, and I think that's all we're gonna be using today. So I just grabbed some linseed oil on my little filbert brush, and I think I'm gonna start in these two, the outside areas, kind of maybe in a little arc. I'm going to put some linseed oil over some of these rocks, kind of going in between the pine trees. Yeah, if I would have thought this through a little more, I probably would have waited on the trees. We're not making any mistakes. We're just figuring it out as we go. So just adding in some linseed oil over the top of these rocks. That way, whatever we put over the top of it is going to move and be transparent, I hope. Remember, that's the idea, is we're going to see how this transparent thing works. We saw it work down here on the water's edge. It looks like this shoreline goes right underneath the water, and when we're done with this painting, I'm going to try to take some good pictures if I can figure out my camera. I've got a nice camera, I just don't know how to work it. Again, if you're looking for a job and you're a photographer, videographer, I probably couldn't afford you. First thing we're going to do is grab some of this Prussian blue. Not going to wash off my little filbert. Going to go into the least little bit of Prussian blue. And I'm kind of mixing that linseed oil that's still on my brush, trying to thin this out. That's the idea of a glazing effect, is you don't want to just go right into the Prussian blue and have full-on paint there. You kind of want to mix whatever medium you're using, and we're using linseed oil. There's other stuff called liquid, and people use turpenoid, turpentine. We're just gonna add a little blue over the top of our rocks. Going in between these trees. I'm thinking this wall would be a little darker. Now, if it's not getting as dark as we want, now we can add a little more Prussian blue, less medium. The way I did these boulders and the rocks, the way they're stacked, it looks like one of those ancient ruins or something, you know. Machu Picchu. Kind of mysterious. I like that. It's supposed to be a misty painting. Anything could happen in a misty painting. So we're going to go with the filbert into this liquid white and tap some liquid white in there, and then come up here and make little swirls around this waterfall. Suppose, I don't know what this would look like. I hate to mess it up, but what if our mist kind of flows down and across the water? Yeah, that could happen. These boulders and rocks have kind of different tones on them, a little darker as it gets back over here, and then the mist we're kind of keeping right around here. Plus it gives the idea that our pool, remember our pool wasn't quite that big, but now with the fog and the mist on it, it allowed it to get a little bit bigger. We're not really sure now how big this pool is. We know it can't go behind the rock unless there's a cave behind there. Maybe we'll do another episode and we'll put a cave and a waterfall on that. Now that we're learning a little bit about how, you know, how to do some of this stuff and with the acrylic and the oil on top of that, let's mix up a blue highlight. We're looking for a light blue, kind of a sky blue is what I'm thinking. Just something that's going to show up. Okay, now it's going to be hard to see these trees, but let's just see what happens if I put a little highlight on a couple of these. If I was to do this over again, I would have done my mist, my glazing on the rock wall. The very last thing I would have probably done is the trees. Wow, that is different. All right, I gotta grab my liner brush. We'll do one more thing. We'll do one more thing and then we'll call it quits. Grabbing one of my small liner brushes. I think we're about done. I think we're going to call this one done. Let's go ahead and sign it. I've got some of this light blue here on my liner brush. Let's go ahead and sign this one. There's a lot of stuff I see on this one that, you know, I could add or maybe I would have done differently. We'll do it again. We'll do something similar and we'll make the rocks a little bit bigger next time or change the layout. They call that composition of where everything's at. I didn't know that, but yeah, now I do. Anyway, let me put my paint palette down. We have a sign painting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate every one of you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.